up.
Yeah, Calhoun and
They
Etowah.
just did, didn't they?
We got a tornado warning in effect for Calhoun.
And that's that storm we were watching rotate near Asheville.
Yeah, I mean,
my goodness.
I think that's probably the right thing to do. Let's go to let's put on the polygons, Charles. We'll take off the radar data. And again, you can see this is what we have now. So this is our new tornado warning. This is going to include the far eastern part of St. Clair County. I'm sorry, Etowah County. The far southern part of Etowah County. This is down below Rainbow City. This will include Highway 77, basically south of the river. And then over into Calhoun County. Now, this is going to include places like Jacksonville on Alabama Highway 21. And let's stay too, Charles. Anniston is not in this. Anniston, Oxford, and really Alexandria. You're not in this. You might have an Alexandria mailing address, and you might want to go to a safe place. But this is the northern part of Calhoun County. Oxford, not involved. Anniston, not involved. Sax, Weaver, you are not in this. This is for the northern part of Calhoun County. And again, you can see those communities, the Duke and Wellington, Angel, Highway 204, Pleasant Valley, High School, Jacksonville, Highway 21. This does include Piedmont, and then it includes Highway 9, but not all the way down to White Plains. White Plains is not in this. So the southern end of the county is not involved. And really, Ohatchee is not heavily involved in this. Ohatchee, you can see, is south of the polygon. So if you're in that polygon, you respect it and you go to a safe place. And again, I know we sound repetitive, but people, when they hear their weather radio go off and they turn on the television, they're seeing us for the first time. So if you're in northern Calhoun, north of Anniston, you want to be in a small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. No mobile homes, no cars. And understand these storms, in addition to producing tornadoes, are also producing very, very large hail. So let's go put behind me the WEXO 5, the high-res radar. And really, I'm seeing two distinct circulations in through here, Charles. I've got one over the Shoal Creek Valley, southeast of Asheville, and one that's located just north of Ohatchee. And that thing's pretty close to Ohatchee High School and the elementary school. And there's two circulations. And again, these things are coming down the railroad tracks like two trains. So circulation number one, circulation number two, and those are going to roll over here into northern Calhoun County. So we've got two distinct circulations, making this really a pretty dangerous situation here. So this is a tornado warning in effect for extreme southern Etowah, not including Gadsden. Gadsden, you've got a tornado warning north of you and one south of you, but you've got that hail going on. You understand, we're talking the tornado threat here. So both of these circulations, Shoal Creek Valley and St. Clair County near Ohatchee, those are moving on to the east, and that's going to cross northern Calhoun County. So let's go back to the main graphic system, and I want to show the big picture. Charles, let's pop the radar on here with kind of a big perspective, and let's expand that out. And there you go. We have strong to severe storms, heavy rain, large hail, a few tornadoes, and these are producing also maybe some flooding issues here at Cullman County under a flash flood warning. And again, those kind of move in the same direction through northern Blount, through Etowah County, southern Marshall. We have that new storm that's forming down here near Asheville, and then we've got the one here that's coming into northern Calhoun County. Tornado warning in effect for Cherokee County, tornado warning in effect for northern Calhoun County for two separate rotations over on the eastern side of the state. These are dangerous storms that are life-threatening. In addition, they could produce hail the size of baseballs or larger, enough to cause extensive damage. The reports I'm seeing out of Cullman, we've got extensive damage in the city of Cullman from hail. This is going to be a major, major, major monetary loss tonight from vehicles and roofs and businesses that have been damaged by hail. So understand these are storms that really mean business. And again, this is the circulation that'll be coming right through northern Calhoun County right here. And that's passing, the circulation's a smidgen north of Ohatchee. And again, that'll be coming out here. This is US 431 right here. And that's near Webster's Chapel. And then that will be ultimately coming out here, maybe near Jacksonville or north of there. This is Roy Webb Road that runs up from Highway 21 back up to 278 up here. The bottom line is, you just want to be in a good, safe place if you're in any of these places we've talked about tonight. Please take these things seriously. We've had a lot of issues tonight from hail, wind, and tornadoes, and we don't want any loss of life. We have not had loss of life tonight. To my knowledge, we've had no injuries tonight, which is a marvelous thing, but we want you to be in a good, safe place because the event is not over yet. Again, what I'm going to do, Charles, is probably post some more of these images here in just a second, but the images that are coming in from the hail, it's pretty extreme. And again, we're getting reports of a lot of damage, mainly from the hail tonight. So it has been pretty rough. Let me show an image here if we can. Let's go back to WEXO 5. This is from Hazel Green. Hazel Green's north of Huntsville in Madison County, and this is what could be tornado damage. There have been multiple storms rolling through these areas, and again, that's an example, maybe straight line winds, maybe tornado. So in addition to the hail, we've had that going on as well. So let's go back to the radar, and again, this is Cherokee County, and we have a large mass of heavy rain here embedded within that, potential for a tornadic circulation coming right on top of Weiss Lake. And we encourage everybody in Cherokee County to stay sheltered. The Weather Service has expired the tornado warning for northern Etowah. So we'll give you an all clear: Sardis City, Whitesboro, Duck Springs, Turkeytown, all clear. That rotation is now into Cherokee County exclusively. So the tornado warning for northern Etowah is over. You can come out of your safe place and going about your business. We do have the tornado warning in effect for Cherokee County that remains in effect. And again, what we have to do is watch the velocity displays very carefully because the velocity displays will tell the story. Let's go back to the high-res radar.
Hey, James, I just want to relay. We've got the reports of that, with the sun going down, we can't see, but two different reports of that smell of strong, fresh pine scent, that snapped pine trees, one in Sneed and then through Walnut Grove. So we may have some trees down or snapped in those areas. So again, don't venture out on the roads, people. Stay inside and let the crews do what they have to do to clean up.
Yeah, seeing, again, reports coming in from social media. Brother-in-law's parents in Cullman have holes in their roof and no power.
My goodness.
And with rain pouring down. If you are sitting in a house where there's no damage and you've not had a storm, you are blessed. Count them, because a lot of people are suffering tonight. And again, we've got multiple circulations. Let me just kind of show you what's going on here. This is a circulation near center. This is the reason for the tornado warning for Cherokee County. Is it the greatest tornadic circulation we've seen? Not really, but then again, it's pretty tight. And you have to assume there's a tornado down here. You have to do that as a course of least regret. So if you are in, and let me just say this is Galesville up here, and this is Cedar Bluff. More than likely, this is going to be coming down through here. More than likely, it stays south of Cedar Bluff and south of Galesville. Technically, that polygon is in effect up here. And again, if you're in the polygon, just be in a safe place. That's the right thing to do. The polygons allow for a lot of error. But it looks like the core thread is going to be coming right down through here. And again, Cedar Bluff here, it's going to cross right over the lake. Leesburg is back in through here. So the circulation has come through Leesburg. It's kind of trucking down US 411, Alabama 68 down towards center. And then it's going to keep on going, ultimately moving into Georgia. So this is the reason for the tornado warning in effect for Cherokee County. Now let's go down to the warning for Etowah County. And again, you kind of got these two distinct circulations. You got this one near the Shoal Creek Valley, and then you got this one that's east of Ohatchee. But this thing, this one right here is about to cross U.S. Highway 431. Alexandria is down in through here, and so it's about to cross over Highway 431 near or maybe just south of Webster's Chapel. And then that's going to keep on moving like this. And remember, the storms are moving a little south of due east. There's no northward component of motion here. There's a little southward component. Jacksonville is here. That's Highway 21. So nobody should be driving certainly along US 431 now because the circulation's over that. And nobody should be driving along Alabama Highway 21. Then Alabama Highway 9 is over here. This is Piedmont. So these are your major north-south highways. US 431, Alabama 21, Alabama Highway 9. We advise no driving until this thing passes on and gets out of here, gets over into Georgia. Again, that is a fairly noisy signature, but again, we have to assume there's a tornado there. That's the best thing to do when the atmospheric conditions are like this. Got a report of marble-sized hail at Blackwell's Crossroads. That's
that.
between Center and Cedar Bluff. And we're going to see, if you've only got marble-sized hail, you're blessed because a lot of this damage, I don't even want to see what this looks like tomorrow morning.
I mean, softball-sized hail is not out of the question that we've seen. I mean, we've seen 4 or 5 inch hail in some spots, and you know, your windshields are gone, the rear windows are gone, holes in the roof of some homes. And here's a live shot from Coleman. Look at that. You see? And that's not just dangerous. I mean, that you get out there, you can get injured, severely injured by being out in these storms if you are just caught in a severe thunderstorm warning with hail that size. So just amazing what we've seen. Oh, goodness. And then there's a child's car seat in there. That just breaks your heart. You know, that's going to be something they got to get cleaned up, and they've got to use that vehicle, you know.
Let me show you, we'll go back to that in just a second. Let me show you a picture on WEX 05. That's a quarter down there. That's softball-sized hail. That's softball-sized hail. This is what came through Calhoun County. That's just remarkable. You've got a penny and you've got a quarter in through there.
Got some power outages in Rainbow City.
Yeah, but again, you can see beat everything up. They live behind the Walmart in Cullman. Larger than softball-sized hail around 7 o'clock. That's what's been breaking all these windows. Let's go back to that live shot if we can, if we've got that. I'd like to kind of go back and establish that. And again, understand this is what people are going to be dealing with tomorrow. And this is not over. These storms are propagating down to the east and south. And
oh my goodness.
You know, if you have not had a storm yet, you don't want these storms. You might get one tonight if you're to the south of where these storms have been. So far, the Birmingham Metro has been spared. Tuscaloosa has been spared. But as the storms develop, if they develop southward and westward, you could wind up with that. This thing is not over. You've got to stay alert and understand that this has caused a lot of human suffering tonight. And it's just been a really, really rough ride. And again, that's an example of what has happened in so many counties around the state. And Charles, that's, you know, we've got the video coming from Cullman, but this is not the only place here.
No, we've had numerous reports. I mean, I would say hundreds of pictures coming in with golf ball to baseball sized hail. We told you about that earlier today, that was going to be the threat, one of the main primary risks today. And you can see here just the damage coming in. So just all around bad day with that. That's rough right there. Goodness.
Wow.
Even just the actual frame is just bent, and that takes some pretty good sized hail to cause damage like that. I don't know if the photographer can hear us, but there you go. There's the front. That's what I was wanting to see.
Here's another note. This person sent me a note. A relative works at the Walmart in Cullman on Olive Street. She's been stuck there since 7 o'clock. The hail has taken out the sky windows out of the ceiling. They have 2 inches of rain standing, vehicles all over the parking lot would look just like that. So again, these are examples of what's happened over a fairly wide area, which is just concerning. But again, this is the big picture. If you are south of Interstate 20, so far so good. And again, if you've not had to deal with stuff, don't get mad. You ought to be thankful. Up here, it's been brutal. And again, these storms are migrating to the south and east. And remember, they could keep on working their way down to the south. The high-resolution modeling are suggesting they'll do that. So if you've not had a storm, you still could have a storm tonight, as these things are still in a very prime atmosphere. But the reason we are here, we have 2 tornado warnings, one for Cherokee County. We have a tornadic storm that's coming right on top of Weiss Lake. That's crossed over through Leesburg and Center. It's coming out, the circulation's coming out over on the eastern side of Weiss Lake. And that storm will ultimately cross over into Georgia. But again, that is tornadic storm number 1. Down to the south, we have tornadic storm number 2, and this is coming through northern Calhoun County. And again, that circulation is crossed over US 431. And then next it's going to be crossing over Highway 21, pretty close to Jacksonville. You know, Jacksonville's had a rough ride. A couple of weeks ago, Charles, remember that they had a rain shower that came through and knocked down trees all over the place with no thunder and no lightning. So there was a lot of damage from that a couple of weeks ago, and now you've got this storm bearing down on you with potential for a tornado. So if you are a student at Jacksonville State University, if you live in Jacksonville, or any of northern Calhoun County, and again we stress, this does not include Anniston. If you live in Anniston, Oxford, East Aboga, Sacs, Lindlock, Weaver, you don't need to do anything. This is all north of you. Now, you might come under a warning later, but for this storm, this does not include you. This is for the northern part of Calhoun County. And again, that will be crossing over into northern Cleburne County. And we'll take we're going to watch these very carefully. And we're watching not only the reflectivity, we're also watching the velocity displays. So let's go back to the high-res radar, which has velocity on it. And again, we're still seeing very strong evidence of storm rotation right there. That's pretty close to Jacksonville. I'd say this thing, Charles, right by Pleasant Valley High School. Now, whether it's down, we don't know that. This radar beam is a few thousand feet off the ground. In this part of Alabama, you can look at it from Birmingham or Huntsville, but the beams are high. The only way to know what's going on down at the surface, it's you. That's why being trained as a storm spotter is a big deal, and we need more of them. But again, this circulation will be near or just north of Jacksonville here very soon. And everybody in Jacksonville and Angel, and you need to stay in your safe place. I can give an all clear now for areas along and west of US 431 in Calhoun County. Along and west of US 431, this is an all clear. The concern is now along and east of US 431. And again, that circulation getting very close to the city of Jacksonville.
Yeah, they need to be in their safe place now. If you guys aren't there, go now.
Yeah, you just don't want to fool around with this. So that's our storm in Calhoun County. And again, you look up here in Cherokee County, and that's your circulation up here. It's broad, but again, the radar beam is way up off the ground. We don't know exactly what's going on underneath this, and the right thing to do is to maintain that tornado warning. So the tornado warning remains in effect for Cherokee County until, Charles?
Cherokee County is actually out of it, or I'm sorry, until 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, for 30 more minutes.
Etowah County was cleared just a little while.
Right. Etowah County's been cleared from all warning, from the tornado warnings. Mm-hmm. The warning continues for Calhoun. So for Cherokee and Calhoun County until 9 o'clock, that's for the next 30 minutes. So again, that's circulation number one. This is coming across Weiss Lake. And if you live in Cherokee County near the lake, you need to be in a safe place. We'll give you an all clear in Leesburg and Sand Rock. If you're in Leesburg and Sand Rock, all clear. This is way east of you now. Center, let's give it about 5 more minutes. We'll give you an all clear. 5 more minutes. The circulation is right over here, moving away from you. Galesville is up here. We can give Galesville an all clear. This is way south of you. Cedar Bluff, I'd still stay sheltered just to be safe. I think it's going to stay south of you, but to be on the safe side, I'd stay sheltered. And again, that'll keep on coming down here toward Forney. So if you're in Cherokee County, you need to be in a safe place. And again, we'll go down to our storm that is in Calhoun County. And that thing looks pretty nasty. I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah, that's if you're in Jacksonville or areas northward, you need to be in your safe place immediately. I mean, Jacksonville all the way to the county line, almost up to Piedmont, you need to be in your safe place.
And we got a new tornado warning for St. Clair for this thing.
We just pulled that one up, yeah.
All right, we got a new tornado warning for St. Clair County, and understand this is for a tornado that is going to be crossing just below Asheville. Asheville is right here. Asheville Middle Elementary and High School is about right here. That's tornado right there, or a very strong indication of a tornado on radar. That's a split. That's 411 going down to Odenville, US 231 going down to Pell City. This tornado is going to be crossing really, really close down here to the schools, the vocational schools that's right here, that section of Asheville, which is just south of downtown Asheville, and the courthouse. So again, that is a very tight signature here. So this is a brand new tornado warning in effect for St. Clair County. This is going to be in effect until 9:15 tonight. So again, we've got a serious looking storm there. If you're in Shoal Creek Valley, you need to be in a safe place right now. Don't wait. Get into a safe place. All right. And then over here, that is a bad looking circulation. I'll quote Gerald Satterwhite down at the National Weather Service, a nasty tornado passing near just north of Jacksonville based on velocity. And I'll agree, that is just bad. Again, the radar beam is a few thousand feet off the ground. I don't know if there's a tornado down, but with that kind of signature, you've got to take that thing seriously. So again, everybody in Jacksonville should be sheltered. You should have been sheltered 25 minutes ago when the warning was issued, but you've really got to be sheltered here. And again, that's out here. It's crossed over around Pleasant Valley High School, and again, that's going to be coming out just north of Jacksonville, right up Alabama Highway 21. That's a very, very dangerous storm. So if you are in or near Jacksonville, and especially north of Jacksonville, you've got to be sheltered right now, and that thing's going to keep on coming, and ultimately it's going to be crossing over Highway 9 over here below Piedmont. You know, a lot of times storms weaken once the sun goes down. But Charles, we have this dynamic forcing coming in here, and a lot of times it doesn't work that way. And the air is very ripe and very volatile, and we encourage everybody, if you are in any of these tornado warnings we talk about tonight, you really do need to be in a safe place, because these storms mean business. You know, the best thing we hope for is that they're aloft and that they're not down, but you sure can't take that to the bank. So that is a very dangerous thunderstorm. But so far, no damage, Charles.
Aside from a few trees down that we've had reports of throughout parts of Blount County, I think in Coleman County as well, trees down is the only thing I've heard of, and it may be just a few spots here and there, you know, just the minimal damage of trees, but no major damage and no injuries. More importantly, we haven't heard of any injuries yet, and I think that's the most important part.
Right, but again, listen, Jacksonville, over here to Highway 9, Nance's Creek, Piedmont, you got to be in a safe place. There is a good chance this thing stays south of Piedmont, but Piedmont, you're in the polygon. You are, so I would be sheltered. But on Highway 9 here, this thing is probably going to cross somewhere but south of Piedmont. And again, the best community I could call out over here is Nance's Creek. So we'll see. This is coming through a very populated part of the world over here, Charles. And again, the one thing about it with social media, we pretty much have a feel if there's something going on here. And we see a lot of reports of hail, and goodness, I've probably had 1,000 pictures of hail. And here's a report. Somebody says that the hail has been so intense it caused airbags to deploy.
Oh, I bet.
Which is just...
James, check out the correlation coefficient there at Jacksonville. I mean, it's pegged off the charts. There's a pretty good signature there that we've got at least some debris or something lofted.
Oh, brother, this is horrifying. All right, look, this is a TDS. That's a tornado debris signature. This is correlation coefficient. When you get a negative CC, that means the radar is telling us that there's something different about the echoes there. It's not precipitation. This is stuff like tree limbs, parts of buildings being lofted. This is not a good sign. And Charles, thanks for pegging that. This is a TDS, a tornado debris signature. And I would say that we've got a tornado down at Jacksonville. It is urgent that you are sheltered if you live in Jacksonville, if you're on the campus of Jacksonville State University. You should have been sheltered 30 minutes ago. This was a 30-minute lead time. But again, a negative CC here, that is a TDS, tornado debris being lofted. I was in Indianapolis speaking at a weather conference this weekend, spent some time with Brian Smith at the Storm Prediction Center. He had a study of TDS signatures like this. They correlate every time. It's stunning how well this works. That's debris being lofted. We'll have damage out here. I'll guarantee there's damage somewhere over here, Angel, Pleasant Valley, back over to Jacksonville. And that intense signature continues moving on to the east. And again, that's going to keep on crossing over Highway 21, over here to Highway 9. Listen up. If you live in Nance's Creek, you got to be in a safe place. Okay? Now, if you're in Piedmont, I want you in a safe place too. Piedmont's up here. Nance's Creek is right here, and that thing is coming right over this way. This is going to go north of White Plains. North of White Plains, south of Piedmont. Nobody should be driving along Highway 9, and certainly nobody should be along Highway 21, is that the tornado circulation more than likely is now a smidgen east of Jacksonville. So again, this is correlation coefficient with a negative CC hole like that. That's debris that's being lofted, and goodness, it's still there. That's a new volume scan. This is not going away, so we have...
Yeah, and they've issued a tornado warning for Cleburne County as well, so you guys go ahead and make your way to the safe place.
Yeah, so a tornado warning in effect now for Cleburne County for this intense circulation. And again, we're going to come back to that in just a second, but let me go back to the velocity display. We have multiple tornadoes here, multiple tornadoes. So that's tornado number 1 right there. This is the one that is at Jacksonville. Let's go to the one at Asheville over here. All right, so this has broadened out a little bit. That doesn't look as good as it did maybe 5 minutes ago, but still, there's a chance we have a tornado down that's approaching Shoal Creek Valley. If you live in Shoal Creek Valley, you need to go to a safe place. That is a small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. That's the deal. I wish I could show you live video of these tornadoes. We know that when you see it, you do something. We've learned through social science studies, when you see this, you see a bucket of spilled paint. I understand that, but please hear my voice if you hear us call out your town tonight and you're under a tornado warning. This is serious business. So if you're in south of Asheville, over to Shoal Creek Valley, you want to be in a safe place.
And the correlation coefficient's beginning to drop there as well.
Yeah, that's...
We're starting to get a signature there.
We'll take a look at that same CC product to see if we can see debris being lofted. And yeah.
It's gonna be north of Raglan in a minute,
right,
but...
Right. So again, the negative CC hole is going to be... Oh, let me get my pen back on here. It's going to be right there. And it looked a little better a minute ago.
Yeah.
In fact, let me animate this thing. This is the tornado. We have a tornado warning in effect for St. Clair County. And again, watch for negative CC.
Right there.
You saw it right there. It looks like it might have been down briefly. We had debris being lofted there, and it's still here. We still have a negative CC, but it's not like the one we're seeing in Jacksonville. But still, again, if you're in Shoal Creek Valley, be in a safe place. This possible tornado is going to be passing north of Raglan. Raglan is right down here. Tornado here, that'll be coming over here toward Ohatchee. And again, if you're in any of these places, be in a safe place. So, and we've got the other circulation that's up here in Cherokee County, and this is on by Center. If you live in Center or Leesburg or Sand Rock, you're all clear in Cherokee County. The concern is going to be down to the south and east of here. If you're in Cedar Bluff, you're good. If you're in Galesville, you're good. This tornadic circulation is going to be crossing over into Georgia in a matter of minutes. So for a few more minutes, we have a tornado warning in effect for Cherokee County in northeast Alabama.
Yeah, that's right. Highway 411 headed into Cave Spring, Georgia. I take that route all the time, and there's a lot of folks and farms out there. You guys just know you need to be in that safe place.
Okay, we're getting reports now from the sheriff in Calhoun County. We have homes damaged in Wellington from this thing. Wellington is pretty close to U.S. 431 near Alabama Highway 204. I just have great fear that we're going to have other reports of damage. Hopefully this thing is down in a rural area where there are just trees and trees are down. Something's down. And again, as we get additional information from law enforcement, we'll pass that on to you. But again, this is a violent looking signature here east of Jacksonville. And let me just say now, for Jacksonville, we can give you an all clear. Jacksonville State, the city of Jacksonville, we can all clear you. The concern now shifts over here to Highway 9. Piedmont running down Highway 9 to Nance's Creek. You've got to be in a safe place in Nance's Creek. If you live anywhere near Nance's Creek, if you even know where that is, and if you live along Highway 9, you need to be in a safe place. This is north of White Plains. Okay, thanks, Chris. He just told me in my ear that JSU's on spring break this week, which is a good thing. Many of the kids are back home, which is great, but yet a lot of people live in Jacksonville, and some kids stay behind on spring break. But again, that's a violent tornadic signature that's about to cross Highway 9 near Nance's Creek. That's going to be coming over into Cleburne County. We kind of have this odd handoff here for Cleburne County, Alabama. Cleburne County, Alabama is in the Atlanta television market. We don't choose markets. It's based on the viewing habits of people that live there. But we'll stay with this because this thing is so dangerous. And we'll kind of give you an idea of where this might stretch on through Cleburne County. Look, the Interstate 20 is down here. That's your tornado, and again, that'll be coming down this way, and more than likely, this is going to stay north of US 78.
And it looks like it's almost taking a little bit more of a right-hand turn.
Yeah,
at this point.
They're all right-hand turners tonight, which means that they're not moving northeast, they're moving south of due east. So instead of doing that, they're doing this. So again, this is the part of Cleburne County we'll have to worry about. US 78 is down here, Interstate 20 is down here. All of this will be north of Interstate 20. There's no risk from this circulation to Interstate 20. There might be later, but again, if you're in northern Cleburne County, and there's your polygon border right there, this is basically Fruithurst, Edwardsville north. And if you're in the northern part of Cleburne County, you want to be in a safe place. Small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. No mobile homes, no cars, nobody driving around this thing. Let's take a look at the correlation coefficient, and let's see if this thing is still there. And
there.
yes, it is. Wow. Goodness.
And that's headed towards like Rabbit Town and Jenkins and
I don't like it.
Burns.
What this is showing us, this is debris to at least 15,000 feet. 15,000 feet, debris from the surface being lofted up, which means this is a very significant tornado. And we don't play the game where you say this is an EF something. You don't know what the EF rating is until you survey the damage. But again, this is in a good position environment-wise to stay down into Cleburne County. So we have debris being lofted. And again, based on the radar data, the debris is coming up to about 15,000 feet. That's a fur piece up. And debris being lofted, that's parts of buildings, parts of trees, parts of homes, roofing, stuff that's being taken up from below. A tornado is a violently rotating updraft. And so this is a very dangerous storm with a negative CC max right here that's coming over into Cleburne County. Wow. Wish I had better news for there. So again, let's go back to the velocity display, and we're working multiple circulations. We're going to bounce back and forth between these. And again, we've got the hail, and if you guys have some good hail video, we'll take that.